our pastor, Dr. Darren White. He'll pray, and then after he prays, we'll begin the session. Okay? All right.
Well, I appreciate each one of you being here. Let's ask the Lord for His blessing on this tonight. So let's bow our heads and go to the Lord in a word of prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, God, we do thank you, Lord. What a blessing, God, to be able to gather here tonight, Lord, a memorable occasion, Lord, for these graduates. And God, we thank you for this school. Thank you, Lord, for each one who served and labored in this ministry. Lord, thank you for Emmanuel Baptist Church, Lord, and of course you who makes this possible. And we thank you, Lord, for parents and Lord, who have, Lord, had confidence in this school, Lord, to send their children here. God, we pray, Lord, for these tonight. Lord, I pray that you'll bless them, God, as they begin a new phase of their life. God, as they, Lord, finish, Lord, one journey and begin another. And I pray that you'll help them tonight, Lord, in this service. I pray, Lord, that you'll make this graduation ceremony a night, Lord, they'll not soon forget. And I pray that you'll bless, Lord, help us all. And Lord, we want to thank you. We want to praise you for what you do. And what all this we do ask in your precious and holy name. Amen.
Would you stand, please? Like I say, I appreciate you being here for this tremendous occasion in these young people's life. And once again, this group here, I've seen them come up through kindergarten and right on up. And so that's a good testimony for the school, but also means something special to me too. All right? So, as we get things started off this afternoon, Aubrey, she's our salutatorian, she's going to come and make her speech for us. But before she does, let me tell you something about Aubrey. Okay? Brother Ron, he said that weeks before Aubrey was to start the school, that's all she could talk about. We're starting the school. She want to do schoolwork. She want to do this, she want to do that, you know. Well, the first day he brought her, we had the kindergarten upstairs out here in this older building. I was sitting in my office and I heard this blood-curdling scream. And all right, and as I went out to see what was happening, Brother Ron happened to stop her. She beat him to the car. I said, well, it's starting off pretty good. All right, but she's come a long way, folks. She's come a long way. So if you will, make Aubrey welcome and offering.
Today, I will be saying goodbye to this world I've lived in since practically day one. Most people think that it's crazy I've been so sheltered. Yes, I've been raised in church and in a Christian school, but we have become family. And you can tell if you listen really closely, you'll hear us fighting, so that's obvious. But we do love each other, and that's why we are so hard on each other so we can see the best outcome. As I look back over the past few years, I see so many memories that would take all night just to tell you half of them. So you might want to sit back and get ready. Never mind, I'm just kidding. I'll only mention a few. One of my first memories is Miss Sharon teaching us Psalm 23 in kindergarten. I have not forgotten a word since she taught it to us. Another memory is going to Miss Chase's house almost every day after school. Ashley and I were convinced that the only reason we were able to was because we prayed before that God would let us go to those houses. And then I remember we had lake stay and my mom would watch us, and I finally talked her into letting us go into the field. Now, I saw a baby bird run into the field, and I went to catch it. And after that, we weren't allowed to go in the field anymore. I could go on and on, but I'm kind of ready to graduate. First off, I want to thank God for all the blessings He has given me over the past 18 years, and especially for saving my soul on July 30th, 2012. I want to thank my parents who have worked so hard to give me a good Christian education and have given me everything I needed and even what I wanted. I also want to thank all of my teachers who have taught me not only the curriculum, but how to grow closer to God every day. I want to thank my family for encouraging me to do my best and to pursue a college degree. I want to thank my youth leaders in both churches for supporting me and helping me find out what God's will is for my life. Last but not least, I want to thank Brother Darren for preaching the Word of God to us and praying for us and being so involved with us kids. Honestly, I thought this day would never come. It seems like the past 18 years have just flown by, and I'm about to walk across this stage and officially be done with high school. And afterwards, this fall, I'll be attending Point University, where I will be majoring in music and will minor in psychology. The Lord has a lot in store for me, and I just want to follow His lead because we all know that His way is best. I want to thank all of you for attending tonight, and I really need your prayers as I enter this next phase of my life. And like the pulpit says, let me live His life for His glory. And I want to end my speech with a song. All there was a calm and thread that
Brother Andrew, if there's a such a thing as a serious clown, it would have to be Andrew. Very studious young man, but has a sense of humor, and which I am proud of. So Andrew, you come please.
For starters, I trained him. So I want to start by thanking everybody for coming here. Mainly thanking God because, I think we all know what it's like to do most of us know what it's like to do the test here. And, you come in and you're nervous about it and you pray for it for 3 or 4 times before you take it. And I don't know what you're going to do. But a lot of people, I talked a lot about dropping out of college or high school before I ever started. Instead, I thought about getting my GED, and then, you actually get to it, and you got it, and it's like, why not just stay and go the extra mile? But I want to thank everybody for being here. Mom and Daddy, who's recording me, for always helping me whenever I needed it, and being there as somebody that I could count on. All our friends here, Trent, Blaine, Tillman, who's not here. Shocker. Never shut up at school, never shut up at graduation anyway. We were going to that. Wyatt, Jacob, everybody that was the ones that always stuck by my side. Jason, even though he's not here, unless he isn't, I'll assume him. The ones that have always been there, that you have those friends that you can count on, and if you ever get into anything, they're always there beside you, probably getting into it with you. I want to say that Miss Charlotte and Miss Chase and all the teachers that helped us through, Mom when I was on that side, of Miss Lisa, Miss Sharon when we were in kindergarten, everybody that's always been there. Because don't get on the teacher's bad side. I'm looking at you, Trent and Benjamin. You like to push buttons, and at the end of the day, that's the person scoring your test. That's the person scoring your test. And it's fun to mess with them sometimes, especially Miss Chase, because sometimes she can catch on to stuff quicker than everyone's doing. But still treat them with respect. There's a fine line between playing with them and completely destroying their emotions. You want to, Trent, stay away from that line, specifically you. A lot of respect towards Trent. He's the one that I'm leaving behind. He's the one that I don't trust. I don't trust too much. But I'm surprised, kind of, that I'm graduating. Because it's one of those things you work for forever and then you graduate. And I always said I was ready to, why are you on your phone? You always and you never think you'll actually get there. And then when you do, it's worth it and you're glad that you did it. And I remember doing all the stuff that some of y'all have already done, the physics and all that stuff that you've got, or chemistry and all that stuff you've got coming up. And it's going to seem really hard and you're not going to want to keep through with it, but it's not impossible. Mainly read through, study over it. But if we don't stick together at the school, even, and a lot of people say, well, it's a little private school, you don't have a lot going against you. You'd be surprised. I mean, there are people still tempt you with stuff and all that. I mean, nobody's perfect. I mean, you're never going to find somewhere you can go and everybody's just absolutely flowers and roses all the time. But if you can be a good example to people, then they'll follow you a lot of the times. Not always. Sometimes you'll do your best to try and, bring people to church and all this, and it won't work, and it'll bum you out. But I mean, if you got to power through it, because if you bring one person from, as they 1 to 100, you brought 1 out of 100 that's gonna, see the difference. And just remember everything. Listen to the teachers, listen to Brother Sanford, respect him, and just if they ask you to do something, don't push it. Trent, don't push it. Benjamin too. But I want to thank everybody for coming tonight. Like I said, thank God, thank my parents, thank everybody. And as we go on to college, something I said I never do, and here I am. Just pray for us. Keep us, in your prayers and thoughts and everything, because it's going to be all right. It's going to be something that we've all worked for a long time, and I think it'll be fun. Amen. Thank everybody for coming out tonight.
Well, I know the parents and families of these graduates are very proud, and rightfully so. You should be. And I appreciate them. Appreciate their character. Appreciate getting to be here, preach to them in chapel, and pastor here much of their time here at the school. But I've watched them, and I've watched them grow, not just physically, but I've watched them grow spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and all other ways. And I tell you, I appreciate these young folks, these young adults. They're getting ready to take a new adventure. It's a scary time. Doesn't seem like it's been that long ago for me, but it has. But it's going to be an exciting time for them as well as a scary time. But I want to focus in. I want to do some preaching just to you for just a few minutes, okay? And first of all, I want to draw your attention back to a time in Israel's history. It was a time when they were delivered out of Egypt. It was a time when they were getting ready to go into another phase. We called it the Promised Land, a place where they'd never been before. And they got up to a river, and they got there, and it was time for a new leader to take charge of the nation. And this is what Joshua said. It says, that ye may know the way by which ye must go, for ye have not passed this way hithertofore. He said, you've never been this way before. You've never passed. And this is a place where you've never been before. And so what now? What's going to take place now? And I want to sort of give you two thoughts. I'm trying to concise this down. So much stuff I'd like to give you, but I want to concise this down to two basic thoughts right here. And first of all, and I'll go ahead and give you my 2 points, all right? They'll seem strange to you, but I'm going to explain them, okay? First of all, I want you to know that you need to know where the rocks are, okay? And I'm going to explain that to you. And then you also need to prepare yourself for the unexpected, but also the inevitable events of life. First, let me talk about that first thing, those rocks. Well, I read a story one time about 3 fishermen. They had launched out several hundred feet offshore. They were fishing, but it was a very uneventful day. They didn't catch anything. So one of the men decided, I think I'll just go to the shore. He steps over the side of the boat, steps onto the water, and walks all the way to the shore. And after, the third man, he took notice of this. The second man, after a little while, decided he'd do the same thing. He stepped over the side of the bow of that boat, and he walked all the way to shore, right on top of the water. Well, the third man watched this, and he said, if they can do it, I can do it too. And so he stepped over the boat, he plunged straight into that water. He was gasping for his breath, trying to get back, climbing back in the boat. Not to give up so easily, he stepped over again and plunged back down again. 2 or 3 times later, the 2 men on the shore were laughing hysterically, and one said to the other, he said, we better tell him where those rocks are, or he's going to drown. And I thought about this story because, you know what, there are unforeseen steps in this life, and you need to know where those rocks are. So the first and foremost, is that you need to know where the rocks are. Here's where the rocks are. They're in between the pages of this blessed old book. Amen. And you're going to come into this life, there's going to be many things that are going to await you. There's going to be things that you're not going to know exactly which step to take. Where are you going to find the right place to put your steps? Where are you going to find those rocks? Well, the Bible says Jesus is our firm foundation. We are to use this book that God has given us and His Word. I'm thankful that both of you have professed to know Christ as your Savior. That's the greatest gift, the greatest anything that you could say about what you've done so far, or in this life. But even as a Christian, you need to know what steps to take. And I encourage you, just because you may not be here, and you're welcome to come back on Wednesday at chapel, but you need to stay in this book, stay in church, stay faithful to God, and lean on Him. And when you don't know where to step, God will guide you, and He'll show you where to put your steps in this life to lead you to where you need to be. I say, first of all, you need to know where the rocks are. And then the second thing is this: there's going to be times in this life where unexpected things are going to come your way. You've got college planned. You've got different things you're looking forward to. A lot of times at this stage in life, we plan it out. We say, well, I'm going to spend 4 years in here. I'm going to spend, then I'm going to get married, or then I'm going to have this, and then I'm going to do that. And you know what? Sometimes those plans change, and they're unexpected. And I'll just say this, that there was another story I read, and I felt like it would apply right here as well. I thought about this story. There was a man, he was a sailor. And as he sailed, his ship was wrecked, and he found himself on a little island where some natives were. And some natives, they come out and they grabbed him up, and he thought, well, they put him on his shoulder, led him back to camp, and he thought, surely I'll be a well-done dinner for them tonight. Well, that wasn't the case. And when they got there, they actually put him on a throne, and they made him king. And they said, we're your servants, and whatever you say do, that's what we're going to do. This sailor, he was, of course, overjoyed not to be eaten, but he found himself as king. And after a little while, after some inquiry, he found out that they had a custom, and their tradition was this, is that once every year they would find someone to be their king. They would be king for a year. And they would serve them as servants and all, but after the year was up, they would take their king and take him to a banquet-type island, and they'd put him on that island with no food, no supplies, no nothing, and that's where that king would die. Then the next year they'd find him a new king. Well, he found out what was going on, and this is what he did. He said, well, since I'm the king, you have to do what I say right now. He said, so I command you to go build me some boats. And they went to build boats. He said, and now that the boats are made, he said, now I want you to transplant some fruit trees off this island over to that island that you're going to take me. He said, and then once you're done there, I want you to build some houses and nice homes on that island. And then I want you to clear the fields and plant crops. And he did so. And after a year was done, they did just as their custom had said, and they took him to this island and left him there to be alone. But he had made provision. And it was an unexpected turn in his life. But what I'm saying is this, is that he took some unexpected circumstances that he thought was going to be so bad, and he used some wisdom to turn it into good. And you know what? Life's going to throw some curveballs your way. I don't know what they'll be. But you can expect this. They're going to come. And you can let them defeat you, or you can take them and you can use them wisely to benefit yourself and others in this life. And that's what I pray for you. You've made the profession that you're saved. That would be my very first thing. But since you've made that profession, and I think I've watched your lives, I believe that you show fruit of salvation. I'm thankful for that. But now that you're a child of God and you're serving Him, I pray that you'll go on and do greater things for His glory. God created us to have fellowship with Him. And every day, you ought to find yourself in that place of fellowship. Find yourself a place of prayer. Find yourself a place to find where those rocks are. And as you do, you hide His word in your heart. God will help you to make those steps that you need. You know, we look toward the future. This is a time right here where we look toward what's awaiting us. I wanted to share with you, there was a very well-known teacher years ago, had a students would come from a long distance to come to study under him, but he always gave them one test and a battery of questions before they would come. Here's what one young student who came, he asked him this. He said, why did you come? He said, to study law, was his answer. He said, then what will you do after you've studied law? The teacher asked. He said, well, then I'll set up my practice. He said, well, what then? After you set up your practice, what's going to happen after that? He said, well, I hope to find someone to marry and have a family. He said, what then? He said, well, after that, he said, I hope to enjoy home and work. What then? Asked the teacher. He said, well, I'll grow older. Eventually, I'll die. What then? Asked the teacher. And his whole point was this, is that he knew if the student was ready to die, then he could truly be ready to live. And when you look into the future, and you look and see where your end is, it'll help you to live your life much like Christ wants you to live it. It says it is appointed unto men once to die, but after this, the judgment. Alexander Dumas said this, if the end is well, then all is well. The happiest, most effective life are lived by those who recognize the opportunities that the Lord has set before you. Those opportunities of school, of marriage, of parenthood, of work, of those type things. The Chinese proverb says it this way, dig your well before you get thirsty. I think this is in Proverbs where it gives us our Christian analogy of this in the ant. He says, the ant, which have no guide, overseer, or ruler, provideth her meat in the summer and gathereth her food in the harvest. So prepare now. Amen. This future that I speak of, and I'll try to end on this, is like the lightning bug. Well, I love this little poem. Short, but I like it. And it says this, the lightning bug's flight is a tragic one. It's been said again and again. For he cannot see where he's going. He can only see where he's been. It's going to be like the lightning bug. Don't just look behind, but look forward. Keep your eye on where you're going, where you're heading for God. Looking ahead to the future. Wondering which direction to take. You can plan with great confidence according to God's Word. I want to challenge you. Stay close to God. Keep your heart close to Him. Follow Him. And He'll help you make those decisions. He'll help you find those rocks through life. And He'll also, when unexpected events come, He'll help you to use wisdom in those unexpected events to bring glory into His name. And that's what it's all about. I want to have a word of prayer with you, and then I'm going to turn it back over to Brother Chase, okay? Dear Heavenly Father, God, I do want to come before you tonight. God, thank you, Lord, for Aubrey, and thank you for Andrew. And God, I thank you for the life, Lord, that you have given them. And Lord, what a blessing they've been, not only to each one that's here today, Lord, but to many, God, that they have touched already in their life. But God, there's so much more you have in store for them. And I pray, Lord, for your leading, your guiding and direction. I see so many, God, who graduate and then they leave the things of God. They head out on their own way for their own journey, God, without you by their side. And I pray that that would not be the case with these. And I don't believe it to be so. I believe there are two that love you and God want to honor you with their life. And I pray that you would, God, help them to make those right steps in life.